Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a custom character mod for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I will cover everything from start to finish. That includes using Fmodel to extract assets directly from the game, Blender to edit and customize the character models, and Unreal Engine to finalize and package the mod for installation. Whether you're completely new to modding or looking to polish your workflow for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, this guide will walk you through every step with focus on stability, compatibility, and quality. Let's get started. The first step is to extract game files. For that we need Fmodel. Download it from this website. This tool lets us access Unreal Engine game files. Once it's downloaded, open the file and extract it to a new folder. If for any reason you already have Fmodel installed, either delete it and reinstall or just use your existing one. Now open the file. You should see this setup menu. Leave all settings as default and click OK. This will launch Fmodel. Next, you will receive a message promoting you to update Fmodel. Click Update. This step is important because we need the latest version. Once the update is complete, Fmodel will automatically restart. After it restarts, you'll need to set up the game installation directory and the correct Unreal Engine version for it. To do that, go to Settings and General. In this section, click on this and locate your game installation directory. Select the folder where your game assets are, where the end folder is. Select it. Now, in the Unreal Engine version section here, search for Final Fantasy. Then select the Rebirth version. Make sure it's this one. Finally, click OK, and Fmodel will restart again and begin loading the game files. On this side, we can view the pack files. These files contain all the necessary game assets, each with its own set of subfiles. To load them all at once, set the load option to all. Then click Load. Give it a few seconds, and then you'll be taken to the folder section. Here, you'll see a folder named End. Open it. Then go to the Content folder. This is where all the important assets are stored, so this is the one we need to explore. Inside, you'll find folders with specific names. For example, the Characters folder contains all the character assets. Open it, and inside you'll see several subfolders. Enemy contains the bad boys. Environment contains the objects you see in the game's world. Non-player contains any character in the game world that controls by the game's AI. Player contains the main character and any other character we can play as. Each of these folders also has subfolders that further categorize assets. For example, if you go to Characters, Player, Tifa Standard, you'll find the character's model assets. Each model has three main folders. Material stores shaders and surface properties. Model holds the 3D model itself, the mesh file. Texture contains image files for the model's appearance. To find the 3D model, open the Model folder. Double-click on it. This will take you to the Files section, where all the related files are listed. The one for the 3D model is the last one. It's always the last one for this game, always. This is the base 3D model. Double-click on it to open it. Give it a few seconds to load, and there you have it. In the 3D viewer, we can now inspect the model, check if it's the one we need, and see details like textures, materials, and a skeleton that linked to it. Now let me mention something very important. This part is crucial. Each player has a standard model, and you can tell by the folder's name. For example, this one says Tifa Standard, and here is Cloud Standard. Every main character has one. The rest of the folders are the alternative models, like Tifa's Costa Clothing, Tifa Loveless. And the difference between the standard and alternate models is the skeleton they use. They all use the same base skeleton, but that skeleton file is only included in the standard models folder. So, as you can see, inside Tifa standard, we have the skeleton file, base skeleton, this is it. But if you look inside Tifa Costa Clothing folder, it's missing. Why this matters is because if you want to edit an alternate model, you still need the base skeleton from the standard model. Without it, your character will appear in T pose or A pose in the game. This only becomes necessary later, when we set up everything in Unreal Engine, and I'll walk you through it at that step. In this tutorial, I'll be editing one of the alternate outfits, so you'll see exactly how to deal with this. This is the model I will mod, and make it this. Okay, let's export. To do that, select the last file, right-click on it, and click Save Model. You'll see it start loading as it begins the export process. An important thing to note is the Fmodel automatically exports everything associated with this mesh file, so you don't have to manually find anything other than that base skeleton file. The rest will export along with it. And that's it. As you can see, it says successfully exported. If you click on this link, it will take you to that export directory. But let's go there manually to understand the folder structure. The exported files are located inside Fmodel's installation directory under Output, Exports. So let's navigate there. Inside the Exports folder, you'll see two main folders. End folder. This folder contains the materials and textures for the exported model. It follows the same folder structure as in the Fmodel. So if you open these folders one by one, you'll eventually reach the files. As you can see, the textures are fully exported and ready to use. Now the game folder. This folder contains the mesh file, the actual 3D model, exported as a PSK file. We can open it in Blender using PSK plugin. Now that we've got the game files extracted, it's time to set up Blender, which is the 3D software we'll be using to edit the models. Head over to the official Blender website and download the latest version. I recommend always using the most recent stable release to ensure full compatibility with plugins and new features. And Blender is completely free. Once the download is complete, go ahead and install it. The installation process is simple. Just follow the setup instructions on the installer. Now, we need to download a plugin, a PSK plugin. To get the plugin, go to this website, click Get Add-on, and click Download. This is for Blender version 4.2 or higher. If you're using an older Blender version, get the plugin from this GitHub page. Scroll down to this section and download the corresponding version. Once both Blender and the plugin are downloaded, go ahead and launch Blender. On the startup screen, select General to create a new project. Now, let's install the plugin. Go to the top left and click Edit. Then go down to Preferences. In the Preferences window, select the Add-ons tab. Click this button on the top right, and select Install from disk. Now find the plugin RAR file we downloaded. Select it, and click Install Add-on. If everything goes correctly, you'll see a message says Installed successfully. You'll also see the add-on listed here. Make sure the checkbox next to it is enabled so Blender knows to load it. After that, close the Preferences window. Now, in your scene, you'll see a default cube, camera, and a light. Select them all by box selecting, and press Delete to clear the scene. Finally, switch to the modeling workspace from the top bar, and make sure you're in object mode. At this point, Blender is fully set up, the plugin is installed, and we are ready to import our model and edit. In order to import, go to File, Import, and select Unreal PSK. This is the plugin we installed earlier. Now, locate the PSK file we exported from Fmodel. Mine is here. Before importing, let's set the options. Set components to mesh and armature. Make sure all checkboxes are enabled. Set the color to sRGB. Under armature bone length, change this to 3 or 4. And most importantly, set transform scale to 0.01, 0.01. This ensures the model scales correctly in Blender. Once that's set, select the file and click Import. Give it a few seconds to load. You'll now see the model in Blender. It's the exact same one we viewed in Fmodel, but without textures, which is fine. We don't need them. Now, to navigate in Blender, you can use these options here, or use these shortcuts. Now go to Scene Collection, here. You'll find the armature and the 3D model. This is the armature. It controls the bones, and using it we can change the character's pose and add animations. And this is the object, the 3D model. And inside the model, you can also view and manage materials. Now, how to edit? There are few ways to edit the model. First, a sculpt mode. Select the model, switch to sculpt mode from here, and use these tools to change the model's shape. A sculpt will change the shape. Try each option out one by one and see what they do. That's the best way to learn. And to undo your move, press Ctrl+Z.
As majestic as a breaching whale.
That your way of complimenting us?
Now the second method, Edit mode. Select the model, go into Edit mode, and select vertices, edges or faces to reshape or adjust geometry. Turn on proportional editing for smooth, radius-based edits. Scroll the mouse wheel to adjust the size of the influence. You can also delete parts of the mesh by selecting them and pressing Delete, then selecting vertices. Also try to change the viewport shading to this one, so you can see better and have much more access to the vertices. And any edit will affect in the game too. One issue with PSK files is that the whole model comes with one single object and makes things a bit harder to edit, but you can fix that. While in edit mode, press A to select everything, then right-click and select Separate by material. This split the mesh into individual parts based on materials, giving you more control over what you edit. Keep in mind that sometimes under the out of it, the body mesh might be missing. That's common in video game 3D models. But you can import a full base body and use it to replace or complete the original. If you ever want to join objects back together, just select them in the Scene panel while holding Ctrl, then go to Object and Join. That's all you need to know for the basic model editing. Now let's move on to fully replacing the character model. Now that we've imported the original game model into Blender, it's time to bring the new model that will replace it with this one. For this example, I'll be using a female character model from another video game. It's usually best to use models from video games because they tend to be structured similarly, which makes the replacement process easier. Before you use any model, make sure it meets two important requirements. Textures. The model should come with texture image files like diffuse and normal maps. These are necessary to add color and detail. Without them, your model will appear textureless. A skeleton. Import the model into a new Blender project and check if it includes a raw skeleton, just bones, not already rigged or animated. This makes things easier later on. You can find free 3D models on sites like DeviantArt or specialized 3D model communities. Before importing the new model, let's organize things a bit. In the Scene collection, right-click and create a new collection. Name it something like New Model to keep things clean. You can also right-click on the collection icon and change its color. Now, with the new collection selected, go to File, Import, and choose the correct file format for your model. Locate, select, and import it. Once it's in the scene, you'll probably notice that the new model is much larger or positioned differently than the original. That's normal. Our goal is to align it with the original model in terms of size, position, and pose, but only by editing the new model. Do not touch the original. Open the new models collection and review its components. In my case, the model has a skeleton for the body and out of it, while the head and the hair are separate mesh objects, and that's perfectly fine. Now select them. I select the skeleton and the objects too. Then start adjusting it using Blender's transform tools. First, I use rotate, this option, to turn the model 90 degrees. This is how you do it. There is a panel here which also helps. And you can also change the viewport to have different visuals. This one is for showing textures. If your model have them applied, then you can see them if you change it to this one. My model does, so I leave it on this for now. Next, switch to scale option, this option, and adjust uniformly by dragging the white circle. You can zoom in and do a better adjustment. Take your time. After you scale it and resize it, use Move option to position it carefully in place. Once the overall placement is looking good, we now move to posing the model using Pose mode to match the model even further. Let's start by hiding the original model's skeleton to clean up our workspace. Select the bone of the original model and press H to hide them. Now select the new model's armature, the bones, and switch to pose mode from the top left drop down here. Our goal here is to match the pose of the original model as closely as possible. This step is key to making sure the model animates properly in-game. Start with the arms. Select the upper arm's bones near the shoulder. Select the rotate tool and gently adjust their angle to match the original pose. If your bones look different, don't worry. This can happen because of the settings. To help visibility, go to Object Data Properties tab. Under Viewport Display, you can change the bone display type. You have several of them. Also, enabling in front, this will make the hidden bones visible. Even if it looks messy, it's super helpful. Now continue adjusting. Remember, you're not limited to just rotating. You can also scale and move bones as needed to get things just right. Also, do the same adjustments for the other hand. Move on to the fingers, which are usually the trickiest part. Zoom in, find the right camera angle, and carefully tweak each finger bone. After hands are done, move to legs. Legs are simple. By editing only 2 bones you can make it align. Okay, once your new model's pose matches the original closely enough, you're good to go. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just aim for clean alignment. Like I did. This is enough. Now that the body and outfit are properly aligned, let's move on to the head and hair. Since these two parts don't have their own bones, in my case, we couldn't pose them earlier, but we still can position them and shape them manually. When it comes to the head, precision is very important. If you want facial animations, like talking or blinking, to work correctly in the game, the position and proportions of the head, eyes, and the mouth need to match the original so closely. My head model includes eyeballs and the mouth interior, just like the original one. If your model doesn't have those details, for example, no teeth or tongue, the mouth will appear empty when character talks. Also, you can skip replacing the head and just keep the original, especially if you're happy with it. But if you're planning to replace it, here is how to do it. First, check how your head connects to the body. In my model, it's attached around the chest area, so moving the head separately might cause a gap. Keep that in mind when editing. To adjust the head, select the head object and switch to edit mode. You can hide the hair temporarily to focus. Select the parts of the mesh you want to adjust. Then turn on proportional editing. Then use the move, rotate, or scale tools to match the lips and eyes and the mouth to the original model's positions. The goal is to align the mouth and eyes, not to make the whole face identical. As long as the key elements match, the facial animation will work properly. And when you did pose adjustments, then try to edit the object in edit mode. Make sure to turn these options on, so the model pose right in edit mode as well. Once that's done, go back to object mode, select the hair, and adjust its position too, so it fits the edited head. Then use the same tools in edit mode to perfect it. Everything aligned and looking good. If your model looks good too, let's move on to the next step. Now that your model is in place and posed correctly, it's time to bind it to the original skeleton so that it moves and animates properly in game. This is done through weight painting, which transfers deformation data from the original model to the new one. Before we begin, we have to do these steps. Remove the existing skeleton from your new model. So in order to do that, first, Select each object one at a time, your new objects. Start with body. Then go to the modifier tab, the wrench icon, and apply the modifier, if it exists. This is how you apply it. Do this for every single one of them. Then, go to the Object Data tab, the green triangle icon. Find the vertex groups, and delete them all, like this. Do this only for your new objects, new models. Do it for all. Don't touch the original ones though. Now, select the new model's armature. Press Ctrl plus A and choose Apply All Transforms. Once that's done, delete the new skeleton. Select and press Delete key to remove it. We won't be needing it anymore. To get a clean and accurate weight transfer, follow these tips. Simplify the original model. Separate it by material, and delete any parts that don't influence your new model, like accessories or overlapping geometry. Organize objects smartly. Join similar parts together. For example, combine the body and outfit of your new model into one object, and do the same for your original objects. Keep head to head, hair to hair. Keep them as separate pairs. This gives cleaner results and avoid issues. So now, you should have a new body model and its original counterpart, a new head and its original head, a new hair object and its original hair. You get the picture, right? Okay, let's transfer the weights, one object at a time. Select the original object first, then hold Ctrl and select your new corresponding object. Switch to weight paint mode from here. Your new model should look blue. Now in the top, go to Weights, Transfer Weights, this one. Alright, a side menu will appear. Now, change Source Layers to by name. Vertex Mapping to nearest face interpolated. And done. You have been applied the weights. Repeat this process for the head and hair objects in the same way. All done. Now, we need to assign the original skeleton to the new model. In Object mode, select each new object one at a time. Then go to the Modifier tab, the wrench icon, and select this. Then go to Deform and add an armature modifier, it's this one. Now, under Object, select the original skeleton, the original armature, it's this one. Do this for all other new objects, one by one. Next, select the original armature and switch to pose mode. Move some bones around, and your new model should move along with it perfectly. That means you did it correct. Just like that, weight painting is done. Now let's finalize it. Just go into pose mode on the original skeleton, move a few bones around, and watch how your model reacts. If everything looks smooth, it's all good. But if you spot something weird, like a section bending too much or getting distorted, that means we need to clean up some weights. Let's fix it. First, hide the original model so we can have a clear view. Now, select your new model and switch over to weight paint mode. Then come to the green triangle icon, the Object Data Properties tab. Inside, you'll find a list of vertex groups. These are bones that controls different parts of the model. What we want to do is find the bones that's responsible for the problematic area. You can use the names to find them faster, or just click through them one by one until that part of the model lights up with weight colors, like this. Now here is what those color means. Red means the bone is influencing that part a lot, like it moves aggressively. Blue means no influence at all, it won't really move. And anything in between, that's moderate influence, like yellow, green. Once you find the right bone, grab the brush and let's paint. If you want to reduce the movement, set your brush weight to 0 and paint over the part. You'll see it fade towards blue. If you want the area to move more, raise the weight and paint it red. Just take your time and paint carefully. Now here is my favorite trick. Use the blur tool. It's perfect for smoothing out transitions, especially where one part of the model is red and the area next to it is suddenly blue. Blurring helps make that shift much more natural and avoids those harsh bends and glitches. So yeah, that's how you clean up weight issue. Just identify the problem area, find the bone controlling it, and use the tools to get it looking right. After a bit of painting, my model is deforming way better than now. Everything moving smoothly, and it looks good. Now, after you're done, because we did change the pose a lot of time to identify the problematic area, we have to reset it. This is how you do it. Select the armature, go into pose mode, Control plus tab. Now, press A to select all bones. Now press Alt plus R to clear rotation. Press Alt plus G to clear location. Press Alt plus S to clear scale. And you're done. First, we need to remove the original model objects. Just go ahead and delete them all. Select them and press delete. Only the original model parts, not the armature, and not your new model. Next, select all your new model objects and drag and drop them under the armature in the scene collection so everything stays organized. Then, rename the armature. This is super important. Just double click on it and name it exactly armature. If you don't do this, then your model stays in T-pose and animations won't work. Now let's talk materials. This is a big one. In your scene collection, expand your new model objects so you can see what materials are assigned to them. These are materials. Then open your texture folder. These are my texture image files for the new model. Each material should match the right texture. For example, if you have a texture called body, that texture is meant for the body, right? So it should be assigned to a material also named something like body, and that material should be applied to the body object in Blender. Let's break it down. Let's say you have separate textures for the head, eyes, and eyebrows, like me. but you joined those objects together before assigning materials to them. Now you're stuck with one object and one material slot, which means you can't assign those three different textures anymore. You can only assign one. That's why you need to assign materials first before joining any object together. Now, if your model didn't come with materials, or they don't match your texture setup, then you'll need to create them manually. Select your object, go to Material Properties tab. Here, if you see an extra or wrong material assigned to it, click the minus button to remove it. Now, if you want to add one, click New to create a new one. Now, name it something clear. If it's the body object, then name the material body. If it's head, then name it head. So you know which one is for what part of the object, right? You're gonna need that in Unreal Engine. You only need the materials. You don't need to apply textures to them. We will do that in Unreal Engine. And if you already have textures applied to them, doesn't matter. Okay, once all materials are set and every object has the right one assigned, you're good. Finally, join all objects. Select them all and go to Object, then Join. Then double-click on the object and name it something. Also make sure the armature is named Armature, nothing else. Now your model is fully prepared, clean, and ready to export. Let's go. Alright, now that everything looks good, let's export the model. Go up to the top left, click File, go to Export, and choose FBX. This is the format we'll use to get the model into Unreal. Now, before we hit Export, we need to change a few settings to make sure everything works perfectly. In the Include section, uncheck everything. Then select the object types, all of them. Now go down to the Transforms tab. Here, you want to make sure every setting looks like mine. Next, open the Geometry tab and set Smoothing to Face. Leave the rest of the settings as they are. Now go to the Armature section here. Uncheck the option that says Add Leaf Bones and check Deform Bones only. Finally, make sure Animations is checked. Now, here comes something really important. The file name. You need to make sure your exported model has the exact same name as the original file. So what you wanna do is go to your Fmodel directory and find the original mesh file we exported from Fmodel, the one we edited in the Blender, the PSK file, this one, and copy its name, full name, exactly. Now paste that name into the file name here, in the Blender file name field. It should look like this. Okay, once that's done, choose where you want to save the file. Any folder will work. Find the directory, and then click Export. And that's it. Your model is exported and ready to go. We are officially done with Blender for this project. Make sure to save your Blender file before closing, just in case you want to come back and make some other changes later, or fix some problems you have. Alright, go ahead and close Blender. And let's move on to the next step, bringing the model into Unreal Engine. Alright, time to get Unreal Engine, but not just any version, not the regular Unreal Engine. We are gonna use a custom build of Unreal Engine. It's made specifically to work with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth mods. You'll find the download links on the GitHub page. It's in the video description. But before we can access it, we need to link our Unreal Engine account to our GitHub account. Otherwise, GitHub won't let us view these files and download them. So here is what you need to do. Step 1. Create a GitHub account. If you don't already have one, Go to GitHub, click Sign Up, and fill out this form. Complete the sign up process. You'll get a little puzzle to solve. Go ahead and do that. Then they send you a verification code to your email. Copy and paste it here. Then finish the sign up process. Step 2. Create Epic Games account. Now head over to Epic Games and sign in, or create an account if you don't have one. You can use your Google account to make things quicker. That's what I do. Step 3. Link GitHub with Epic Games. Once you're signed in to your Epic Games account, click your username in the top right. Then go to Account. Now on the left, click Apps and Accounts. Scroll down to find GitHub and hit Connect. It might detect your GitHub account automatically, especially if both accounts use the same email. If it does, this is what you see. Just click on Authorize Epic Games, and you're done. If it doesn't detect it right away, no worries. It will ask you to log into your GitHub account manually. Just enter your GitHub username and password, and connect. Then you see Authorize Epic Games. Click on it, and done. Now check the email inbox that you used for GitHub. You should get an invite from Epic Games. Click Accept Invite, and you're in. Make sure to do this. Once you've accepted the invite, go to this GitHub page. Link is in the description. You should now have full access to the custom Unreal Engine build files. There are usually 3 parts to download. Go ahead and download all of them. And that's it for this step. You have access to the engine files. Let's move on and get them set up. Alright, before we start installing Unreal Engine, we need to download few requirements. Visual Studio 2017, 2019, and 2022. Also Net Framework 4.8. All the download links are available in the video description. First, go to this page and download Visual Studio 2022, the Community Edition. This will download the installer. For Visual Studio 2017 and 19, I've included direct download links for their installer. The links are in the video description. Just click them, and they should start downloading automatically. If for any reason the links don't work, let me know in the comments. Once you have all 3 installers downloaded, go ahead and run one of them. Doesn't matter which one you start with. Click Continue and wait for the installer to load. You'll see a screen like this. It shows which version of Visual Studio we are installing. This is 2017. Now let's go ahead and set it up. Scroll down and look for the game Development with C++, this option. Make sure the box is checked. We need to install this one. Then click Install. As you can see, it's now downloading and installing. Just wait for it to finish. Once Visual Studio 2017 is installed, go ahead and close the installer. Now move on to the next one. Again, run the installer, and just like before, in the settings, check the Game Development with C++ option. And for Visual Studio 2019 and 2022, go to the individual components and search for this specific component, Windows 10 SDK 10.1941. Make sure it's checked. Then proceed with the installation. After that finishes, close the installer and open the last one. Once again, check Game Development with C++ and also make sure this Windows SDK version is checked. It's only available in 2019 and 2022. Then install that too. Now that all 3 versions are installed, we are good to go. If you already have Visual Studio installed, that's totally fine. When you run the installer, you'll see it listed already. In that case, just click Modify. That will bring up the same setup window. Just apply the same settings I mentioned earlier. Then install and modify as needed. And keep them updated. And now, download and install Net Framework 4.8. You can get it from here. Download runtime and also development. Then run the downloaded file and install them. If you already have them, then move on. Alright, now we are ready to install Unreal Engine and set it up. Let's get started. Okay, these are Unreal Engine custom build files we downloaded. Go ahead and open this one. Now drag and drop this entire folder to a location where you have at least 10 or 20 GB free storage. Let it extract. This might take a little while. Be patient. Once that's done, we need to download and install the custom Final Fantasy VII R2U project. It's a project file. You can get it from the link in the video description. Just download the zip file from here. After it's downloaded, open the zip and extract the folder inside it, right next to Unreal build folder. Just like this, drag and drop. Next, we need to download Unreal version selector. It's a single file, and the download link is also in the video description. Once you have it, copy that file, then go into custom Unreal Engine build folder called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Engine version 3. Navigate to Engine, Binaries, Win64, and paste the file here. Now double click on it. It will ask if you want to register this custom engine as a legit Unreal Engine version. Click yes, then OK. After that, go back and open Final Fantasy VII R2U project folder. That's the custom project we extracted earlier. Inside, you see a file called end. Double click on it to open. A prompt will come up and asking which version of Unreal Engine to use. Select the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth engine, the one we just registered. It's this one. Then hit OK. At this point, it will begin generating project files, which might take a bit. If you get any pops up saying something like you're missing a component, would you like to install it, download it, stuff like that, say yes. But I got nothing. It's all good. Now just be patient. It might seem like nothing happening, but it's actually setting up everything in the background. Once it's done, Unreal will launch automatically, and you're good to go. Alright, that's it for this step. Let's move on to the next one. This is the Unreal Engine 4, and we are going to use it to assign materials to our model, then package and create a mod file to install. We don't need most of the sections in the editor, just this content browser. So go ahead and maximize the content browser like this. Then click this icon here to expand it fully. Next, we need to create some folders inside the content browser and then import our model. What we are doing is setting up the folder structure for the character model, exactly how it is in the Fmodel. So open the Fmodel and navigate to the folder where we edited its assets. The folder which our model is inside it. For me, it's this one, right here. Okay, see this folder structure? Yes, we need to create this inside Unreal, starting from the content folder. So let's do that. Select the content folder and right-click on the section. Then choose New Folder and rename it. Name it Characters, because it says here. It's the same folder structure. We're gonna follow this path. Open the Characters folder, and inside it, create a new folder and name it Player. We are just following this folder structure in Fmodel, and this is how. Now go into the player folder and create another folder. Then this time, name it the models version folder. For me, it's this alternate model folder. Finally, open this folder as well. Then create these three folders: material, model, and texture. Once you are done, your folder structure should look like this. Now we are ready to import the model. Go inside your model folder. Click the Add Import button and choose Import to. Then find the FBX file that we edited and exported from Blender. Select it and click Import. You'll see some import settings pop up. Leave everything as default and just hit Import button. Give it a few seconds to bring everything in the scene and set up the shaders. And that's it. Everything is imported and ready to go. Alright, these are the asset files for my model. This one is the mesh file, the base model. This one is the skeleton for it. And this one is the physics asset. These are the only files we need. The rest can be deleted. So, hold Ctrl and select all other files one by one. This includes any materials, textures, or anything else you don't need. Then press the Delete key and confirm the deletion. Now we are good to go and apply materials to our model. First, open the mesh file, this file, double-click on it, and check if everything looks correct. What you see here should match mine, same direction and same size. Now to navigate in this viewport, use these keys. On the left side, you'll see the material slots. We are going to create material instance and apply the textures to them, then assign them here. Now, why these slots exist based on what? Well, if you remember, we applied the materials to our model in Blender. So, these are the same ones. That's why they exist. That's why we did applied materials to our model, because we need these material slots. Now, we need to make material instance and apply them to these slots. To do that, go to this GitHub page and download this file from here. Download the whole thing. Once it's downloaded, open the file and inside locate the folder called render. Now go to your costume project folder, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth 2U project. Open the content folder and drag and drop the render folder here. Like this. Done. Back in Unreal Engine. Now you should see the render folder in your content browser. If it doesn't show up, refresh the Unreal. Now, open the render folder and go to Material Instance, Surface. As you can see, we've got bunch of materials here. These are the ones will be used to create a material instance. The one that most models use in-game is called RMI Surface Standard Wide. Type that into the search bar and find it. We can use this material for almost all of our body objects, except the hair. For hair, we'll use a different one. But first, let's take care of all the other objects before setting up the hair material. First, check how many you need. You'll need one for each material slot in your mesh file. For example, I have 8 slots, but 3 of them are for hair-related stuff. So, I'll create only 5 material instances using this body material. To do that, select the material, right-click on it, and choose Create Material Instance. And boom, 1 is done. Repeat this process until you've made enough instances. I need 5. Alright, I've got mine done. Now, select all the new material instance we just created, these ones, one by one, and drag and drop them into the materials folder next to your model folder. When promoted, choose Move. Next, let's create material instance for the hair. In the search bar, type RMI surface standard coverage white. Use this material for the hair. Just like before, create material instance from it. I need 3 in total. Done. Select them, all of them, and move them into the same material folder. Now, clear the search bar, go to your materials folder, and as you can see, all material instances are here. Next, we'll apply textures to each one. First, let's rename the materials we created. Give each one a name based on the textures it will use. This helps to keep them organized. So, for example, if you have a texture for the body, name that material body. If you have texture for hair, name it hair. Same goes to eye, out of it, and so on. Alright, now we need to import the texture files into Unreal. To do that, open the texture folder we created earlier in the content browser. Then on your PC, locate the texture files for your new model. These are mine. Make sure they use PNG formats. Like something regular. PNG is a regular format. JPEG also works, but DDS don't. Now, just select them all and drag and drop them into the texture folder in Unreal. That's it. They now imported. Next, we are going to set them up inside our materials. Go to the materials folder and open one of the materials you created. Now go back to the textures folder and dock this material in the side so you can see texture files easily. Now, in the material properties, you'll see several sections. Each one is used for different types of textures. Most texture sets include several types, but the 2 most important ones are base color, the main texture, and normal map. Give the model surface details. The others improve the visual quality, but these 2 usually enough to get things look right. Let's start with the base color. Look for the section labeled color. Check the box to unlock it. Then drag and drop the base color texture into this slot. Done. Now, for the normal map, find the section labeled Detail Normal. Check the box and drag and drop your normal map into this slot. That's it. And if you have more texture types and want to use them as well, just match them with the correct section based on their names. Do a quick research to find which one does what. But again, for most characters, base color and the normal map are enough. Now click Save, then close the material. Let's do the same for the rest of them. This is for the out of it. I am adding base color and normal map. Then saving. Same process for each one. Alright, it's time to set up the hair. It's the same process. We add the base color and the normal map, if you have any. Now, here is the key step, the alpha texture. Every hair texture should have one. It's usually a black and white image, or something similar. And it controls transparency. We are going to apply this to the coverage section, this section. So check that section and drag and drop the alpha texture in there. And that's it. But make sure the material instance you're using is the correct one, the one I mentioned. The others won't work. Also, it's important that your alpha map is light. Most of it should appear white. If you don't have one, try to download from internet. The same method should also be applied to eyebrows and eyelashes, anything related to hair. But if you think it's not necessary, feel free to skip it. Okay, I'm done. Now, let's assign materials to our mesh. To do that, open the mesh file. Then go to your materials folder. Then we are going to drag and drop each material into its corresponding slot. Now here is the important part. Materials don't preview on the model in Unreal Engine, so it's important that we pay attention to our materials name. This is why we named them clearly earlier, so we won't accidentally assign them to the wrong slot. To help with this, you can use highlight option in the material slot section. Click this thing next to the slot to highlight which part of the model it controls. For example, if this highlights the AutoFit, then you know to grab the AutoFit material and drag it into this slot. If you're not sure which material is which, just double-click it to open it and you'll see the textures inside. Now you can confirm. Once you're sure, drag and drop the correct material into its matching slot. Done. Now just repeat this process until they are all complete. Alright, I am done here. Everything is in place. Finally, click Save, then close the mesh file. We are almost done. Just one last important step. We need to get the base skeleton file for our model. Because we edited an alternate version of the character model, it doesn't come with the base skeleton. Like I mentioned earlier, all alternate models use the base skeleton, which is only included with the standard version of the character. If you skip this step, animations won't work, and this step is only required for alternate models. So let's go ahead and do that. Open Fmodel again, navigate to the folder containing a standard version of your character model. For me, it's Tifa's standard model folder. Go inside the model folder, just like before. Right-click on the model and choose Save Model to extract it. Once it's done, open Blender and start a new project and get rid of these. Then go to Modeling. Now, go to File, Import, PSK. Locate the standard model file we just extracted. And make sure to set these import settings. Scale 0.01 and everything else just like mine. And import. Now, in the scene collection, rename the armature to simply armature. Then go to File, Export, FBX. Update the settings like we did earlier. Smoothing, set to face. Uncheck Add Leaf Bones, and check Only Deform Bones. Now, rename your file to match the original standard file. Copy and paste its name, just like before. It should look like this. All good, then export it. You can now close Blender and go back to Unreal Engine. We need to import that skeleton into the engine. First, create the folder structure for the standard model as well. It should be almost in the same location as the alternate one. It is, as you can see. So, go to the player folder, create a new folder with the standard model's folder name, this one. Inside that, create another folder named model. Open the model folder and import that FBX file here. Use the default import settings. Then click Import. Once it's in, select and delete everything unnecessary, just like before. Keep only these three files, the mesh, the skeleton, and the physics asset. Now, go back to the alternate model folder, the one we mod. Find the existing skeleton file, it's this one. Select it and delete it. Confirm delete, force delete, and done. Then open your mesh file And when Unreal shows this message, click No. Then it will ask you to assign a new skeleton. Here, select the original base skeleton, which is this one. Then click Accept. And boom, that's it. Now just save everything and we are ready to export. Now just few more steps and we are done. So, first we need to create something special called data asset. It's super easy. Go to the content folder and right click here. Then go to miscellaneous and choose data asset. Now in the search bar, type primary. And you're gonna pick one that says primary asset label. Cool. Now, name it label underscore, then add whatever you want. Open it up. And here is what we change. Now let's change some settings. Set priority to number 1. Make sure to do this. Set chunk ID to anything higher than 500. I usually go with 700. And choose the cook rule to always cook. Alright, that's it. Now we need to tell Unreal Engine what files to export. So, expand the explicit asset section and hit plus button a bunch of times. You'll need one for your mesh, one for your each material, and one for your each texture file. So for example, if you've got 8 materials and 20 textures, make sure you have enough slots for all of them. Once those are done, go back to your model folder and add the mesh file first, the pink file. Drag and drop it in the first slot, just this one. Then jump into materials and start adding every single one of them. Same things with the textures, just drag and drop all of them here, one by one. Done. Alright, hit save and close it. That's it. Now let's cook the mod. Go to top menu, File, Package Project, Windows 64. Now listen, don't touch the file path. It needs to be in the same folder as your end file. Just hit select and let it do its thing. Okay, this might take a while, like a long while, but only for the first time. Next time it will only take 2 minutes. Once it finishes, you'll get a message. Okay, it's done and now we can grab the files. So now, head to your project folder, the custom one that have end file in it, and go here, Windows No Editor, End, Content, Packs. At the bottom, you should see 3 new pack files. These are your mod files. You know them by the chunk ID we set in the data asset. Now, before we install them, we have to rename them. At the end of their name, add underscore capitalized P before the .pack. For example, change packchunk 700 Windows No Editor .pack to packchunk 700 Windows No Editor underscore P .pack. This gives them priority, so game loads these over the original ones. Now, for the final installation, go to your game's install folder. Navigate to End, Content, Packs. Create a new folder and name it ~mods. Yes, with the tilde at the beginning. And finally, drop those pack files in here, all 3 of them. And boom, you install the mod. Run the game and let's check it out. So, after you launch the game, make sure your character wearing the correct outfit, or you won't see the changes. And you can change your character outfit in this chapter. I did put the save file for this chapter in the video description. Put it inside this path, if you haven't already progressed this much. As you can see, the mod works. The body animations are perfect. However, we still run into issues when it comes to the face. It's tricky to manage, but definitely possible. If you're a beginner, I recommend not trying to edit the head for now, because setting up the lips and the mouth of weights in Blender, it requires some professional skills. Now, when it comes to attaching the neck to the head, when you're trying to keep the base, head and the hair, but change the body, replace it with a new body, there's gonna be a gap between them. Close them as much as you can, then use a necklace to cover it, or any other accessories. Also, the textures from your original model might not match the new ones. This can cause visual problems like this. To fix it, open your new model's texture in Photoshop, then tweak them to match the original ones. And that's pretty much it. You now know the basics of how to mod this game. I did also include my Blender file for my modding project in the video description. You can download and open it to investigate things. And if you have any question, just leave a comment. I will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you can, please donate. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.